be aware. So let's go on to phase 2. Phase 2 is 1st of May, and really this is the legal side of things.
And I would say from this phase 2 is really going to set the agenda for the rest of the evening, really, because obviously, as Max just said, it's coming in from the 1st of May, and these are really the areas where the legal changes actually bite. Okay, not going to run through each of these here because we're going to go through them in detail, and this is where we're going to spend most of our time tonight. But what's really, really important to understand for anybody that's watching is these aren't small tweaks. They are fundamentally going to change how tenancies operate, okay, how possession works and how risk is managed. Okay, so hopefully most of you on this webinar are going to be aware of these changes, but we are going to be filling you in throughout, but hopefully you're going to be more understood after this. But really there seems to be a lot of confusion that seems to be creeping in at the moment. Would you agree, Max, from conversations that we've had? So it's just really important that you are aware of what is going to be happening. So these are what we're going to go through in detail very shortly on each point. And yeah, that's phase 2. Next slide, please, Matthew.
So preparation for phase 2, which is coming in the 1st of May. So first of all, we're going to receive what's called the written statement. The written statement, as we understand it, is what will change an assured short hold tenancy to an assured tenancy. I'm not going to get too technical. The difference is the term times, but we were promised that in January, and we all laughed because I remember when the housing tenancy deposits prescribed information came into law. It came into law on the 6th of April 2007. I did write it down because I always get the date wrong. That was a Good Friday, and we didn't receive the information until 4:30 on Thursday. So that was fun to get everything ready for Tuesday check-ins and making sure that everybody had the right prescribed information. At 4:20 today, we received the draft of the statutory instrument, the written statement. So we are having a look at that now. What made me laugh in some respects more than anything else, it says that landlord, it's got a lot of wordings on it, but the landlord must follow a law that was passed in 2018. So well done, everybody. We're catching up there, but it doesn't look too onerous, but it's just really what we've got to do as agents is to find out exactly what we need to do for you. And if you're managing your property separately, what you need to do. The other thing that we're going to be given is an information leaflet. The information leaflet, we understand, is what's really going to advise your tenant or resident of what their rights are, because the notice periods will change. I expect there'll be something with pets inlets there, and we will cover that later. So these are the things that will be happening. So there is a preparation. As I say, we've now got the written statement, so that's going to be my homework for tomorrow, just to sort of work out what we've got to do and when we've got to send things out. At the moment, what is being said is realistically, if you've got a tenancy in place at the moment, you don't need to reissue the tenancy to make it an assured tenancy. However, I'd be very, very careful of that, because 2 years down the line, if you need to change the type of thing, if you want to give notice or anything like that, bet your bottom dollar, the first thing they'll do is say, what was the written statement that you sent? So, and it happened when the Housing Act changed back in '88, because the Housing Act came in. There was a section, I think it was 25, that changed a normal tenancy, or the tenancy, an assured tenancy that was there, into an AST. But effectively the wording changed things the wrong way. It totally, for a year, everybody was in a real pickle about it. So again, I think everybody's learned that. Those people that understand, we will be pushing that forward. But that's really the preparation that we will be getting involved in. So there are 2 dates. Well, now you've got 1 date sorted out, and the information leaflet will come in March. So next slide, please.
We've had one question from Natasha.
Oh.
Can we have a link to the written statement, please? I find those really tricky to track down online.
Okay, Natasha, I will, if you can email me separately, if you wouldn't mind. That's maxine.lester@maxinelester.co.uk. I'll be able to send that on to you.
And if you worry, at the end, our email addresses will come up with questions, so you'll be able to copy them down so you know how it's spelt. So not going to go into too much detail, but we did say obviously it's coming out in 4 phases. We've then got phase 3, which is going